You got any tips for riding in the winter, Chris?
First tip would be go to Australia. Second tip, if you can't go to Australia, if you have a real job and you're not a professional cyclist, number of things really. First of all, safety. You have to be seen when it's darker, and when you're out in the poor visibility, you have to be visible. So you always have to get the right kit, high vis kit. Make sure that it's appropriate clothing that keeps you dry and warm, because although it may not be raining when you leave the house, obviously you could just turn at any moment. And that just in turn, it makes you enjoy your ride all the more. If you're dry and warm and comfortable, then you'll get more out of your ride. And a knock-on effect from that as well. If you get absolutely soaked the skin and the freezing temperatures, you're going to pick up the bug, you're going to get a cold, you're going to get the flu. So you may be training well, you may be working very hard and towards your goals, your long-term goals. But if you get sick, then you're going to miss your training. So it's important to look after yourself. Important to stay dry, to stay warm, be visible. The bike itself, obvious things like mud guards, lights, reflectors, all the kind of things that will help you be seen on the road. Maintenance of your bike. It's going to pick up a lot of salt off the roads. It's going to be, potentially getting the chain corroded, all the different components. If you give it a quick once over when you come in, have your bucket of, all your bits and bobs ready to go. So as soon as you get in, you can attack the bike when you're still in your cycling kit. Get it cleaned, get it put away, let it dry. Easy, much better.
The only photos we ever see, or video we ever see of you though, is riding around the velodrome, riding around in sunny Australia, or in a gym somewhere.
Yeah.
So what authenticity do you have to be telling me how to ride in the winter?
I'm Scottish, so I've got the ultimate, qualification for dealing with winter weather. I mean, it's like this for 10 months of the year up north. I don't know if you've ever been there, but no, seriously, it's my whole career. Although we do ride the track, we are track cyclists. We'd still do a fair amount of road mileage. It could be anything from as little as 60k a week up to 450, 500k's a week on the road at certain times of the year. So we do, a lot of time. We are spending a lot of time on the road. And if it's on the programme and we have to do it and it's raining, then you get wrapped up and you go out. So we do try and get out of the country in the worst months, and we maybe do the odd week in Mallorca or extended camps in Australia. But there are times when it is pretty miserable and you have to just get wrapped up and go out.
And so, in terms of achieving your major goals, how important are those weeks away or those weeks out in the sun?
Well, I don't look at the overall goal, the kind of Olympic target, whatever it is, your 4-year target, every day. All I look at, because on a day like today when you're out in the miserable rain and you're not feeling that great, you think, I'm never, I'm not even close to this target, this achievement, I'm looking to try and hit. So really, it's about every day that counts. You look at each, session, you break it down. And if you achieve that target, then that's a box tick, and that's a stepping stone towards where you want to go. So you still, you get out there, you realise that every session is important. So if it is chucking down the rain, then so be it. You do have to look after yourself, obviously, and be sensible. I mean, there are times when there's black ice and various things that you just think, a session on the turbo is more appropriate. But every session counts, and it doesn't matter whether you're going for Olympic gold or trying to get a bit fitter or lose some weight or get fit enough to do a sportive or do some local racing. It's all relative, but you still have to work towards your goals and you still have to be committed.
How do you keep the motivation then when it is when it's like this, it's not even 4 and it's dark and it's freezing?
It's just dead simple. It's realising that every day counts, and it's not about these big, I think people will imagine that you come to race day and like the films would have you believe that sporting films is about some inspirational talk from your coach and you go out there and you can achieve wonderful things. Yeah, you do need inspiration at certain times, but really gold medals are won on days like today. These are the days when you go out, you put the hard yards in when other people might be cutting it short or staying indoors. These are the days that make the difference, and that is why we travel abroad to go to sunnier climates, because you realise that you can't leave it until the 3-4 months of the year that it's a bit lighter and a bit drier. You have to work hard all the time, and if you can get through the winter months, then the summer months seem easy in comparison.
And the balance is, of course, that even for an Olympian, your immune system is still heavily affected by our classic English conditions, isn't it? British, sorry.
Yeah, well, almost even more so, because when you're a full-time athlete and you're pushing your body to the limit, your immune system is actually often less resilient than your average person in the street. So you have to be very careful. That's why I've got a bunged up nose and I'm talking like I'm got my head underwater. It really is important for your diet, for keeping yourself warm, dry. As soon as you get in, simple things like the old wives' tales about keeping your feet dry and warm, that's actually really true. It's really important. So, I come in, I'll make sure I have some old newspapers around the house, so as soon as I get in, I'll get my road shoes off, take the insoles out, stuff them full of newspaper, get them near a radiator, and they're dry before you use them the next time. If you put on wet shoes and then you go out to the cold, your feet will be cold in minutes, and then you're really going to struggle.